cortisol levels go down when we sweat. It's not just the exercise, but sweating itself does something for us. So when we get out in the sun, it's helping us to get rid of some of those negative stress hormones. Sunlight can help prevent certain kinds of cancer. There was a study by the European Journal of Medicine where they found that certain kinds of cancer, like breast cancer and prostate cancer, you were less likely to get them if you had. Welcome to Growth Mindset Mastery, where our mission is to turn your next challenge into the opportunity that changes everything. Today we're going to talk about something that's above all of our heads. Sunlight's great because it keeps our planet warm, it helps our crops grow, and it can help us all live longer, happier, healthier lives if we let it. The sad reality is that a lot of kids are getting less sunlight than your average inmate. So inmates are getting an hour a day. At least they get an hour out in the yard, but a lot of kids are barely getting any access to sunlight, and a lot of humans in general are not getting a lot of access to sunlight. I know for me, when I'm working a 12-hour shift in the hospital, it's really hard for me to get sunlight because I'm going to be inside all day long. I can't leave because somebody might call me and I might need something. But I've got 4 other days, so I have the ability to get some of this sunlight. So what exactly does sunlight do for us that we might not realize? Well, first thing for me is cancer. Sunlight actually can help prevent certain kinds of cancer. There was a study by the European Journal of Medicine. They found that certain kinds of cancer, like breast cancer and prostate cancer, you were less likely to get them if you had regular exposure to sunlight. Not just getting burned once in a while, that kind of thing can give you cancer. Getting too burned by the sun, so wear your sunscreen, wear your sunglasses, but a good regular exposure to sunlight, maybe an hour a day, every week. Regular exposure to sunlight regardless of the season. That's what's going to help me. It's going to help me make vitamin D, yes, but other vitamins that I could be getting out of a bottle, but it's better for me if I can get it from the sunlight, most likely because if my body's producing it, it's going to know what to do better than the pharmaceutical companies. So for me, I would rather get things like vitamin D and nitric oxide that's going to help with blood pressure and a lot of other things. You can get it as a supplement, but preferably I get it for free. I get it from the sunlight, and then I don't have to worry about taking it every single day. There's this idea of polypharmacy where people are taking so many different medications that they're actually interacting with each other. And in our culture, I think we have a mindset where if I just take one more drug, if I take one more supplement, that's going to fix the problem that I'm dealing with right now. And you have these commercials where there's all these beautiful people dancing around, they're living their best lives because, oh, I got my new medication and we wrote a song about it. And this medication is changing my life, it's making everything better. And then you get to the end of the commercial and they tell you all the side effects. Hey, by the way, this medication may cause you to grow purple polka dots on your hands. It may cause you to spontaneously combust. You might turn into a pumpkin. Your mama might die. Your sister might cry. All these things that we don't necessarily anticipate when we're taking a medication. And those are what we call side effects of the medication. That's not even getting into the interactions that medication could have with other medications. And I've had a lot of situations in the hospital where I get there first thing in the morning and there's 17 medications scheduled for one patient. And you wonder why. Well, when we get to the point when there's so many medications for one person, it can cause some problems. And I'm not trying to assign blame to any person that's taking that medications or physician that they've had, but that is a mindset that we may want to work on, that we're choosing to get more of those supplements naturally, and we try to change habits rather than adding supplements or medications to prevent us from getting to that level of polypharmacy where we're having so many medications together that it's causing interactions. So get some sunlight, you can get a lot of those vitamins naturally. And the other thing is some of this way that the sunlight benefits us maybe goes even beyond that. It's not to say that we understand all of the components just because we know that sunlight gives us more vitamin D, but what else is it doing that we don't necessarily have a handle on yet? One of the things I like to talk about on this podcast is the 3 big F's for me. That's finances, fitness, and fear. A lot of people in hospitals are struggling with those 3 things. And I've seen a lot of people struggling in general that I think if you could just fix your finances, your fitness, and your fear, your life would be completely different than it is right now. And you'd be in a lot better space. But before you even begin a journey like that, it's important to know that you have the energy to finish that journey. And for me, a lot of the hardest things that I've faced, it's not so much a lack of smarts or accountability or dedication that gets me in the end. When I'm struggling, it's a lack of energy to continue doing it. If you start out, you have conviction, you can go far. But if you're not taking space to rest, relax, de-stress, if you're trying to do something really hard and you're hammering at it every single day, there's a possibility to burn out there. So start your journey right. Get your exposure to sunlight every single day. It's going to help you rest. There was a study by the Biolab in the UK, UK Biobank. They did a big study with a lot of participants, and they found that people that were outside during daylight hours were less likely to be depressed. They had fewer days being depressed, they had lower odds of getting major depressive disorder, and they consumed less antidepressants. So get outside and improve your emotional state. Depression is one of the biggest causes of disability in the United States. People that are depressed have a really hard time getting anything done because it's so hard to motivate yourself when you get to that place. So before your will gets broken by the weight of the world coming down on you, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling anxious, get out in the sun whenever you have the opportunity. And it can be challenging. Like I said, I can't always get access to sunlight when I'm in the hospital for a 12-hour shift, but I've got 4 days a week when I'm not in the hospital. During those days, I have opportunities. If I'm working at a computer doing something, playing a game, watching a TV show or a movie, editing a video, I've got the chance to say every 55 minutes, hey, let's go take 5 minutes outside. Let me get out in the sun. Let me feel the sweat coming off of my body. Let me feel the sunlight hitting my skin. There's research that shows that cortisol levels go down when we sweat. It's not just the exercise, but the sweating itself does something for us. So when we get out in the sun, it's helping us to get rid of some of those negative stress hormones. It's releasing serotonin and melatonin. And pretty much anyone can do this. If you've got the ability to get up from your desk and just step outside, as long as you got a door near you, hopefully you do if you're working from home. If that's not an option for you, there's some other opportunities. Like I might be busy, but one of the reasons I am busy is because I try to dedicate so much time every week to exercise. And so when I'm doing that, I can choose to exercise outside in the sunlight. I could go running outside instead of on a treadmill. I could ditch my stationary bike and get on a real bike and go somewhere. I can take my dumbbells to the backyard. So there's opportunities. I don't know what that looks like for you. There may be other opportunities. Can I take this thing and do it outside? Can I read this book out in the sun versus inside? How am I relaxing? Where am I spending my time? What could I do that would put me outside for more hours of the day so that I'm not inside all the time, not doing the things that would help me relax? There's even been some research that I've seen where people's vision actually improves from being outside, or at least it slows down the corruption of the vision. There was one study I saw, it suggested that kids that spend an hour outside, for every hour they are outside doing something during daylight hours, it is a 10% reduction in the risk for myopia. I think there is good evidence that being outside can help our eyes because they were meant to be used outside. They were meant to be used for emotion. So doing things outside that are physical and getting objects that are further away from our vision, like your eye doctor tells you look away every 20 minutes, it's because the lens of your eye needs to relax. And when something's far away from us, when we're outside, when we've got the sunlight, everything's working together the way it should be, it can help with your vision. So my goal, try to start for 10 to 15 minutes as you're able, with the goal of working up to 30 minutes to an hour of exposure to being outside in the sunlight every day until you can do that consistently, so that your will not be broken by depression, so that your body will be functioning properly with all the vitamins and things that the sunlight can give you, so you'll be happier and healthier. If you like this content, please don't forget to subscribe, and I thank you for your time.